I was going to start this by saying that we stopped in one of the craziest places that we could stop in, but I feel like that's something you could take the audio of and put it in any single video of Your Turn to Die, and it would be true. Some of the crazy stuff happens every single episode, and last episode was no different. Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Your Turn to Die. We have to find Ranmaru and Midori. I'm very worried about what's about to happen here. There's Gin here as well. So we came from the classroom, so logic kind of dictates we should go around in a circle, maybe the elevators or something, but the elevators aren't working. So not here. Unless they went into the back room. Not here. You know the room where Kuramada is charging? Like in here? The charging room, yes. Yeah. Ranmaru. So he didn't find Midori anyway. There you are. Yeah, we're worried about him first and foremost. So you were here. Oh my god, the panic in his face as well. Again, just as he's found like a new lease on life and a new reason for living as well. Your collar's glowing. It is. His tag shit again. You can't give up. Yeah, we can't. We have to find Hiyori. There's no one here but Kuramada. I had a feeling, but it left me for a second because like maybe that's not what it is. Is he gonna tag Kuramada? Is that what's gonna happen here? Do it. Oh my god, of course Kuramada, who was already looking for like, you know, before was willing to sacrifice himself for these people, he's gonna try and do it again. What are you saying? You want to live right? Oh my god, Kuramada. What a 180 his character has done in my mind as well, you know? Obviously, like, you know, we found it to be, of course, very rude before, but like the changes that he's made to his own character have been actually really fantastic. Our futures. I can't see one for me, so he's like, I can't even see anything past this. But I can see one for you. Oh my god, Kuramada. Oh no. He doesn't think he has anything past this, but he believes that Ranmaru does. The choices in this game are sometimes very, very difficult. Would you think it'd be wrong of me to say, well, not wrong, but just my perspective on this one here. This is one of the easier choices for me. The music's beautiful here as well, by the way. And it's not because I believe that Kuramada should sacrifice himself for Ranmaru. That's not what I'm saying here when I say, because my choice is watch silently. It's because I feel like it's one of those things where we've been fighting against Kuramada's belief that his future wasn't as important. Not as important, but I didn't believe that he didn't have a future compared to the other characters, and his want to protect the other characters and his wants to save the other characters. In this moment, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, this isn't up to me, or I feel like his determination is even, not his determination, but I feel like it's one of those things where, like, I want to see how Ranmaru feels about this, and I want to see how Kuramada feels about this. And I know you could argue, well, Calvin, they're not in the right mind, either of them aren't, but I do feel like it's one of those situations where, in a similar way that other people would want to take on the burden for us, Kuramada clearly wants to take on the burden for Ranmaru, and I don't want to trample on that, if that makes sense. What am I even doing? I know this is wrong. I just lost the courage to stand against our enemy. And what are you gonna do? If you beat Midori, you'll just die. I don't know what I should do. Oh, Hinako, I can't stand to watch this. Hinako. Wait, what? What? What did she just do? Come on. We'll do something about that collar. What did you... What? What is not... What? What? I mean, no short of the secret doors here as well, so, like, that's not a surprising thing, but still... There's a passage in the darkness. You know what I mean? Like, we've had doors like this before, but... What does Hinako know? Yeah, exactly what, like, that's better than I could have hoped for in this situation as well, where Ranmaru realizing maybe he didn't want to do this or wasn't right to do this. But I hope you understand what I'm saying when I wanted to leave it to them. I wanted them to decide this. Kuromato, who wanted to do something for Ranmaru, and Ranmaru for him to decide what he wanted to do. I didn't want to just, like, inject and be like, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this. And in the end, they came to their own conclusion. I hope that makes sense, what I wanted to do there. What? Wait, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of these. What the hell even is this? A strange device that stretches throughout the room. What is this? A collar reset device. A collar reset? How do you know this stuff? A reset for the bomb? How? Did you know about this all along, or did you just find it? Yeah, how the hell do you know that, Hinako? How? I just thought, oh, that makes sense. So, you know, again, it's the fact that we're all remembering stuff like one after the other that does make sense. And also, like, as well, like, it's one of those things where this feels like a moment of relief, but then it's also like a thing where it's like, what else do we forget? You know what I mean? What else have we forgotten? This music's awesome. You don't have to believe me, but do you have any other way? That's true. Ugh. No objections. All right. Sarah Senpai, call everyone here. Call everyone here? Everyone? Yep. It's a pretty intense device. Apparently we'll need cooperation. So we're going to go call... Oh, here. They're here now. So this is a machine for resetting collars? Ain't that a huge news? Disabling these collars that restrain us. If you can all deactivate them, we won't have to be afraid anymore. Meow? It's not that all-powerful, people. It can only do it for the dummies. Oh, okay. And also, it just disables the tag mode, I think. So it's not disabling the element that, like, the dummies will die, or the dummies can be killed, or that we can be killed. It's disabling the tag mode, which, again, is a big deal, because the tag mode added an element of, like, urgent, you will die now, right? You have a time limit, you will die very quickly. Oh, meow. To do that, everyone puts themselves at risk. At risk? This device forces a reset by sending an electric current. Using our bodies as conduits that... What? How does that... The hell? Relax, it won't be enough to kill you. But if somebody passes out midway, we'll fail. Ranmaru's gonna... So everyone has to stay, like, conscious as there's like, an electrical current going through them? That's rough. And of course, Reiko's just like, yeah, we gotta do it. That's our mentality. Let's just do it. What? Right, we can handle that much. Oh my god. It's such a, like, again, like, this is how far the group has come together, right? Like, how amazing is this? Because, like, literally, chapter 1, Kana would be in a corner right now crying. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make it clear. Like, that, when we saw what happened with Kana as well, it was, like, one of the most realistic reactions you could ever have. But she's grown so much to the point that now she's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's get electrocuted. Ranmaru's our ally. We'll definitely save him, everybody. I love this. What a gesture as well, you know? Guys, look at this, Ranmaru. Your value, and then, you know what's probably painful for Ranmaru too? And again, I'm not trying to, like, again, as we said, we're not judging Ranmaru for what he said. But Ranmaru just recently was just like, man, if we could just get rid of everyone else and me and you survive. And I think in those moments, like, now he's probably thinking like, man, I can't believe I even thought that way. Now that I look at everyone else who's willing to, like, you know, take electrical currents to their body just for me. Oh god. Quickly. Yeah, it's gonna... Stand in the center. I love that kind of, like, writing where it's like Ranmaru. Again, as I said, we're not blaming Ranmaru. Ranmaru's, as you said, was under fear, a love, a fear, and everything in between that made him feel that way about, like, getting rid of everybody else, right? A new feeling of life and a fear of dying, all this stuff too. His mortality was faced with him and all this stuff. So I'm not sitting here going like, oh my god, I can't believe you would think that way, Ranmaru. Look, everyone loves you here. It's like, no, like the reality is actually, the reality of the situation is that like, we cannot blame him, but also acknowledge the fact that it's a great writing technique to then have just a little bit later all the characters that he was, again, in his mind for a split second, was willing to be like, I'm going to get rid of them just so we can survive. Not out of hatred for them, but still, it's like, they're willing to do this for you as well. And I feel like that shows the value of his life too, where it's not just the value of like, you know, oh, I get to be with Sarah. It's that these people value me. All these people value me. Look at this image, man. I mean, should we save? Just oh, wait. Do we think this could be a mouse thing? It could be, right? It definitely could be. So should I get my... You never know, because again, I don't know, but I'll get the mouse out anyway. 1 second, guys. This mouse is crazy. Give it a bit of cheese, you know? Okay, I actually got this mouse for like €2. It was great. I went into a store to buy a mouse for something, and the guy in the store said, I was about to buy like one that was like, I think it was 20, because I was like, oh, this must be good, right? You know, not that people are gonna think I'm a marketer, but I just thought like, okay, this like Logitech €20 one, it's a good brand, right? And he was like, hey, what are you using it for? And I was like, oh, just like for like clicking on stuff. And he's like, are you using it for like gaming? And it's like, no, I won't be using it for like shooters or anything like that. And he's like, probably too expensive. And I was like, oh, okay. And he like just said, hey, here's like a pre-owned €2 mouse. And I was like, okay. It's been working great. So thank you to that dude. Do we just click on this? I'm counting on you. And that's a lovely thing. I know it's a horrible situation. It's terrifying. It's such a dramatic and traumatic, I should say, terrifying situation. But how beautiful is in your life now that you can rely on these people? Let's go. Making a noise, the device started up. Like, there is a worry this could be a minigame, right? For sure. Yep. Okay, maybe it's not a minigame. Oh, wait. I thought it was going to be a minigame, but it's actually technically a minigame, but it's great artwork again. But again, it's like, in pure Your Turn to Die fashion, great artwork that's coupled with a character that is faced with his death. You know what I mean? That's Your Turn to Die. It's like great artwork, but traumatizing. Grab the electrode, everyone. I'm turning it on. Okay, so here's how it works. Midori? Seaweed Head, why is he... Oh, no. It's just purely worrying because, like, why is he also... Like, I get that he wants to be involved in all this stuff on the ground floor, but that's just... It makes my stomach churn thinking about, like, now there's, like, an added element to this that's a little bit more dangerous. You'll feel if you let go, just stay right there where you are. Listen up, the objective of this game is to gather electricity on Ranmaru. The electrodes you'll be holding onto will be sent electric shots at random. So do your best to send a current towards Ranmaru. Okay. So maybe it is a minigame? Ranmaru's collar is making a warning sound. Now take a look at the monitor on the ceiling. That's the number of people who will be sent a shock next. What happens when the shock comes in? Oh wow, look at this. That's stronger than I expected. And there's like a little bit like a blue thing that's gone up on their picture. Isn't it? That's the first shock. You'll get more electrified each time that you're zapped. Let's try it once more. Wait, why are you doing it to her again? Please stop. That was the second shock, and if you get even more and more electrified. Oh my god, wait, is she just gone now? What is that? 3 shocks, this is the limit. If you take a 4th shock, you'll pass out. You mean, if just one person faints, you'll fail the game. And you know what that means? We can't save Ranmaru. But there's just one way of resetting your charge back to 0. What the hell? Wait, it like transfers it to Kana? What? Wires connecting your collars to one another. Miss Sarah, press the switch next to you. Wait, what does this do though? It transfers some of the pain to us? Oh, can I say as well how demeaning this is as well? To save Ranmaru, like everyone has to like, you know, again, it's a really reaffirming moment for the love we have for these characters now and the companionship and the camaraderie. But it's also like, again, a bunch of these characters just torturing themselves to save each other. It's so horrible. Electricity flows to the person who's pressed the switch. In exchange, we'll just take a look. The other people on your circuit got reset, see? Those overcharging yourself to protect others, that's what the game is. What about me? Didn't I say it already? Unlike everyone else, Ronmaro has to gather electricity. Plenty of it, enough to make him faint. Seriously? So basically give a charge to Ronmaro and keep it off the others, that's it. Well then, it's about time to get started. Wait, should we start like this? Clear my charge first? Hold on, Midori, reset my charge first. Why? Because I'm still electrified, that's unfair. Unfair, huh? No, that just sucks. So they don't want to, no, in their eyes this would be fair. It's like, okay, everyone has a shock now. I put everyone on one charge to make it even. Oh, that's such bullcrap, man. Wait, Midori. He's awful. So before this minigame starts, I wanted to say that I definitely did not understand what we had to do here, and I made it like a very silly faux pas. Before this minigame starts, before we start this very fun but crazy minigame, I wanted to say that this was a time where I feel like I definitely messed up the minigame a little bit. It's one of those things where like I think, you know, you kind of have to accept at some point that when you're playing games in front of everybody and you're like, you know, talking and all this stuff in between, you're going to make silly mistakes in front of people as well. That's being a Let's Player, right? But I really didn't realize that, like, you know, how to really send currents. I thought the currents were naturally going to Ronmaro anyway. But the problem is that, like, I think I was so used to him being on the screen anyway in the bottom section that I was like, oh, he's just part of the game. I wasn't even thinking straight about that as well. I didn't really know, like, how to send the currents to him properly after that either. So I do, like, reload afterwards to do this thing again. But you can watch this part anyway and see, like, me kind of, like, being very confused. But, like, yeah, it's just something that happens. It's going to happen eventually. You're going to look silly. And in fact, it happens a lot. You're going to look silly in these type of things for sure. But yeah, I think it was just like I saw him on the screen in the middle, so I thought the currents were just going to him anyway. And I'm so used to him being in the frames on top of the bottom that I was just kind of like didn't even like think twice about it. I was very confused, but the second time around we did okay. But just letting you guys know before someone's like, hey, this is actually how you do it. It's like I'm very aware and I feel very silly, but I think it's kind of funny as well. So what can you do? The wiring changed. So wait, I don't get the actual mechanics of this then. So do we have to like, does someone have to get shocked? So if I click on Sarah, go with this. So I absorbed some charge here, okay. Then given number of people receive, so there they go, they receive the shocks. Ronmaro's car is making a warning sound. Up next is 3. So, and then we collect some charge. No, he's not this. So it's someone who's yellow. So it would be Kurumada or Hayasaka as well, right? No, we need someone who's yellow. So it's F you so badly. But I don't want either of them to take the shock either. But that sucks so bad. So wait, do we have to keep, like, sending shocks his way? So we have to reduce some shocks if we can. So, for example, like, for yellow, yeah. To reduce Reiko's shocks. But now Kana's there as well, there too. Are we actually doing this okay?
No.
Or have I failed already?
Yes. Oh.
Next is going to be 4 shocks. So we need someone with red. Which, yeah. To take that shock off. So we have to keep the shocks away from ourselves. Okay. It's so horrible when you think about it, how, like, I think we're doing okay, right?
No. Of course not.
Ronmaro's car is making a warning sound. I think we're doing okay. Jesus Christ, look at this. So the people who are in most danger, like, so red is Kana, Gin, and Reiko. Yellow is Ronmaru and Anzu. Blue then is also here too, so we can maybe take some heat off of blue. Or maybe we could take some heat off the red as well for Yin, but then Kana obviously takes a shock too. But that's the name of the game. Like obviously, like I'd love to protect everybody, but that's the name of the freaking game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not well.
Blue is in the most trouble. There's more people in trouble in blue than there is any other one. So I think maybe going as much as possible. Right? And she also has the least amount of shock as well. And so now we have to get yellow as well. Armor's collar is making a warning sound. So now we have to go red. So the only person that can take a shock really is Kana. Oh my god, look at their faces as well. Kana needs to take a shock now. Oh, look at her face as well. No, I can't look. This is so horrible. It's like a freaking saw trap. Oh. Yep, there it is. Yep, we failed that for sure. I think I just messed up thinking that again. I forgot that you had to send. I thought it was just naturally sending him, but then I was like, oh, he's on the screen. I just felt like such a idiot there as well. You're kidding, right? Are we gonna see it? Oh no! We saved right before this as well, though. Somebody. Oh no, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. Nothing's happening. Did it fail? Wait, what? What do you mean nothing? Oh, what was this? What does this mean? Wait, you're okay? Wait, what? It's seriously just an empty threat? Yeah, there's something has to happen. I can't imagine it. Bet running electricity through it is busted. Ain't that nice? Malfunction working in your favor. Guess so. No, why are you saying it like that? And it made a narrow escape? Why are we say we're so positive? No, stop! You're saved. Let's celebrate. He was left alive? No, I can't. That's what I'm saying. It's too convenient. Right. Anyway, let's get out of here. Elevator just started. What? This is way too much of a positive outcome. We can go to the lower floor. We need to get there before Midori. It'll be bad news if it gets blocked again. You're right. Let's go, Sarah, to the lower floor. Please let them all be I have a feeling maybe I should reload because that seems like it might just be a negative choice here. Or a negative moment here. Because I definitely messed up. Like, whatever we do, I didn't understand it fully. I forgot that he's literally on the screen. I think it's just so used to all of them being on the screen anyway, and he was on the center as well, that, yeah. I feel like it's very, very silly. But that worries me of how, well that went. Okay, so I've decided to do it again because I feel like this is one of those situations where I made a big mistake, and it's not like it was it was a mistake that feels very silly, right? So I want to see if we can do it again with the knowledge that I have of what I was actually supposed to do. Again, my whole confusion was so silly. It was based upon the idea that he was in the center, and I thought we were just sending electricity to him anyway, but no, we literally have to send electricity to him. It's a silly mistake. There's not really even an excuse I can think of, because as soon as I realized he was on the screen, I was like, do we have to get him electrocuted, or do we have to keep sending him stuff? I think the way it was said to us was he has to be sent electricity to the point that he would pass out. So I wonder if we have to send him, keep sending him electricity. I'm going to try that. Just keep sending him electricity even to the point that it's more than red. Again, just my confusion. And interesting, we're going to be doing other paths anyway in this game anyway. So I might as well just pick the path that I would definitely want to do and also try again. I might cut a few things around there because it definitely was just me being very silly for a bit going, wait, what do we do? What do we do? It was just a really confusing moment. Very silly on my part. Yeah. That's very much my confusion, guys. Yep. I'm not going to feel bad about this because you guys know I always go with my choices and then do stuff later. But this time, usually I will reload if it's me doing something very silly that wasn't my intention, right? And this wasn't, this is me going what? For an hour. You know what? You guys know that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we'll do it again. We can skip to this as well, can we? I think we can just like literally fast forward through, which is grand. Yeah. So now we know, okay, I'm going to try and send as much shock as I can to him as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to feel bad about like reloading that. I'm not going to feel bad about doing this again because it wasn't really like a choice I made. It was a silly mistake of me being dumb, which wasn't my intention. Let's start now then. You don't have to explain anything. Don't give me any charges. So if you just start now, he doesn't give me any charges. That's awesome. Okay. What a change. So now here we go again. We have to, all of a sudden, we have to start right away. And we're going to do some charges to him to see if this is how we're going to go with this. We're going to try and get him like into overdrive. Because that's what they said, right? And again, it was my confusion. It was my silly, silly confusion. We can go again, right? A warning sound. So is there anyone? No one's like in a lot of trouble here, so we can just go again. That extra head start actually helps out a lot. It helps out a whole hell of a lot. Again, we can go again with Romaro and see if this is actually what we have to do here. Because he did say you're gonna have to take shocks that would usually make someone pass out, right? Okay, there it is. Okay, again, that was me being totally silly because now it all makes sense when you think about it now. You guys understand when you're doing Let's Plays. You have a bunch of people watching. You're going to have to accept at some point it's going to look silly in front of people. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. Yeah. Oh dear, sorry, it seems the build's a little too sturdy. What? You gotta be kidding me, then what do we do? Gotta charge again. So we have to do it over and over again. Okay. Shit. Okay, we can do that. Roman's car is making a warning sound. Again, it doesn't change the weight of the situation now that we know what to do here. You know what I mean? If you really think of it this way, it is... Wait, does that mean right now? No, because it's not attached to it. I was going to think that like our Mai and Kataru and Keiji getting shocked. No, I don't think so. But you get what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't change the weight of what's happening here. It's horrible. It's so horrible. Even if once... And that's Your Turn to Die. A fun mini game where people are getting absolutely brutalized. We can save Hayasaka a little bit here. You know what I mean? That's Your Turn to Die. Wow, what a fun mini game, but everyone's getting destroyed. Hopefully he'll get a yellow one right now. That's perfect. Oh no, because it's connected to him, so we have to actually I'm gonna connect. I'm gonna let Hayasaka take a hit for... Well, actually, we should go one more, because maybe whoever... Yeah, we should. Yep. Whoever connects to Gin next time, if he is shocked again, is what's gonna happen here. Yep, whoever's connected again. Even though I don't like Gin getting shocked, he was going to get shocked anyway for this next part too. So red is connected to Kana. Yep. Whatever happens now, if I fail now, that's what we're going with, by the way. I want to make that clear. It's just the first time I didn't think it was like an actual, like, it was just a failure of my understanding rather than a failure of like my skill, even though I could fail with skill as well. Not that I'm saying I have good skill, but I could fail with skill as well. Making a warning sound. So who's going to be connected to next? You can get fortunate sometimes and get connected. Yeah, like say here. Like that's really helpful for us. Oh Jesus! Look at that. We have to get lucky and hope Hayasaka doesn't get electrocuted. That's basically what we have to do here. If I fail, I fail. I want to make clear we have to go with what our failures are. I'm not going to be reloading again. This is again. It's because this time I know what we have to do, and if I fail, it's just a failure on my part. That's what it is. It's just the end of. And you guys know I go with that. But yeah, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna save Anzu and hope that Hayasaka doesn't get shocked, and just hope and pray. I've collected enough. Is that enough though? What? No, again? Give me a break. Good luck. Surely the third time's the charm, like actual video game stuff. We got lucky here. We got so lucky. Oh my god, we got so lucky. Okay, and we have to save Anzu now as well. Hopefully Ranmar will connect to Anzu. It does connect to Anzu right now, but then Kana might be in trouble next run as well, which is, again, we can save Kana next run. We definitely can. But let's also save, we want to shock Ranmaro as well. Like, this is such a great minigame. As I said though, like, and I keep saying it over and over again, but it's your turn to die. It's like, oh my god, what a fun minigame. Oh, I'm also hurting people. All people are getting hurt and crying and traumatized. So red. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna save Gin a little bit as well. Rama's car is making a warning sound again. So like now we have this problem here with these guys here, but actually that gives us a good benefit here because we can actually bring down Kuramada's and Reiko's with this. Yeah, but now obviously Hinako we have to watch out for. Yeah, Hinako's next to save. Hopefully like she'll connect to Ranmaro. We can only hope. But if not, we're gonna have to protect her another way. Yeah, she's not connected. She's connected by yellow, which would have to be Kana is the best bet here, right? And in hope Kana is connected to Ranmaro next turn. Look at that face. How good, it's so hard. That's what makes it so difficult as well. It's like these characters are sweethearts, absolute sweethearts. So hopefully she's connected to Ranmaro this turn. No, she's not, but that's fine too. Not fine, but we have to protect her regardless. We have to watch that strategy. Yellow this time. Yeah, we can do that. So 2 more of these, and if third time really is the charm, then we have this. It's over, right? It's over. Because even now we can protect Hayasaka if it's not over. If it is 3 times like, traditional video games. We did it. Okay. So that's, by the way, so interesting. For so many reasons. Because if this collar actually falls off now, which is, I'm guessing like something like that will happen, or at least something will happen. No matter what, this is a different route. And I know this game has some like crazy, apparently people told me like the routes are different. Because I said if the routes are different, we'll do it. We'll go back and do other routes. And again, once we're finished your turn to die, we're going back to do we're gonna go back and pick. I know it's a horrible thing to say. We're gonna back and pick So to survive, Shin to survive. That's what we're gonna go back and do after we finish this. I don't think we right away, but we are gonna do that. I do want to do that. That just shows here like how different the routes are. Because regardless of what happened next, like there is a route where where Sarah passes out, but nothing happens to Ranmaro, which actually scares me a bit more. The fact that you can succeed in this game shows that there is something, in my opinion, more sinister waiting on the other side of the other choice, in my view. That means we're able to reset it, right? So boring. All right, I'll accept the loss this time. I'll have to prepare more fun trap next time. Guys, I'm real sorry. Hold up. That ain't what you say here, right? It's thank you, right? Thanks. There it is. Oh, look at the smile. Oh my god, I love this character so much. And that's such a huge deal, right? One thank you is worth 1,000 sorries. Always. Always, always, always. And like what's so special about this is, again, as we talked about, he went from literally moments ago thinking that the only like talking about the value of his life, his mortality, facing his mortality, looking at Karamata, maybe passing it on to him, thinking of Karamata as someone who like could represent his future as well, someone who gets ripped apart, or someone who dies. Thinking that like, oh, maybe if I sacrifice everyone else, I'll be able to survive. The thing that helped him survive in the end of all of this was all the people here. Everybody. And again, I want to make clear, he was so strong by himself too, but he can be happy, not feeling guilty that he ever thought he would kill these people. I want to make that clear. That's not what I'm talking about. Not feeling guilty, but feeling happy that the people that he has met here just recently were willing to take such a beating to have him survive. That feeling should give him warmth. And that's what Reiko's saying. It's like, yes, you of course you're going to feel bad. But she's trying to say, hey, just say thank you. Right? That gratefulness is great. That gratefulness to be alive, that gratefulness to have people who care about you like this, that are willing to do this for you. That's much more powerful than begging us for forgiveness for the shocks that we've taken. Good for you. And again, good for you. It's awesome. Romaru. So Sarah, if for your sake, Sarah. Oh? What's this? What you talking? What are you talking? Wait, oh my God. Anzu's face. Look at her. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? No, it's okay. It's okay. Say it. Say it. That's so sweet. I think he definitely likes Sarah. I think he does. And that's very sweet. That is very, very sweet. And that's what I was trying to say. There is a romantic nature to like the darkness of the last episode, right, that we had. There is like a feeling of just like, oh my God, he wants no matter what, like Sarah and him to survive, right? That doesn't change the fact that obviously, as we said, the aspect of it is not good, right? The aspect of everyone else dying is not good. But obviously I want to make it clear that like amongst the damaged, and I hate the word damaged when talking about mental health, but it slips out all the time, right? Because I think it's just a word in the zeitgeist. But like the kind of brutalized feelings that you've had over time and how it wears down on you, that thought process is obviously not good to think about. But like beneath all the darkness, there was this feeling of Ron Mara where he was like, what if me and Sarah survive? I want me and Sarah to live. You know what I mean? There is that feeling there. But now it's coupled now with the gratefulness to everybody, right? And that's what makes that feeling of admiration for Sarah even more special. I hope he gets to tell Sarah how he feels. I really do. That would be really special for me. It really would be. And especially Anzu like going like, ooh, what are you talking about? It's so cute. It's so cute. So cute. We can get to the lower floor? Right, we need to get there before Midori. It'd be bad news if it gets blocked again. You're right. Let's go, Sarah, to the lower floor. Please let them all be safe. We can hold hands too. No, that's so sweet. I'll save again just because, like, yeah, we got here as well. But 90 saves, man. Yeah, if like it's clear he likes Sarah, right? And you guys know I love a good love story. What, like a love story between like a dummy and a human, like where a dummy has found a new lease on life from hanging out with this human, and he's given her a whole new reason to live as well. Like, sign me up. Sign me up right now. Sign me up. You okay, Kana? Please stay behind here. What do you say now, Brad? She's trying to help, buddy, but I think Brad's more endearing now. You can't try to hide it. Those shocks put you in a bad way again. If you stay here, you can charge at any time. Fine. Eh? Don't die. Oh my God. That's what I was saying. I think Brad was more endearing. It's like the way like you have like like in the TV show when the characters have like an insult for each other, and then like, but this is exactly what it is. I don't have to use an analogy. It's exactly what it is. It's like in real life, like where like it's like a term of endearment now. It goes from being like very rude to being like kind of like cute. You know what I mean? It's really nice. And again, it is that moment in TV shows where it's like you call someone like ugly through it, which again, you shouldn't call someone ugly. But I'm saying like, in TV shows when they're like, hey, ugly, hey, ugly, hey, ugly. And then like at the end of the show, they're like, good for you, ugly. And it becomes more endearing than it is insulting. Not that if he ever called Khan ugly, we put him in a box. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds bad because it sounds like I'm doing that because he's a dummy. I would do that if he was a human as well. I want to make that clear. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's endearing now compared to when it was kind of very insulting and demeaning. Right. That's right. We have the transceivers. Kurumada, please hold on to one of these. Huh? Gave Kurumada one of the transceivers. So I can keep in contact with this. Drop us a line if anything happens. We're counting on you. Haha. What am I, a fisherman? Whatever, just get going. Again, I do like that they're not portraying his character in the sense that he's still prickly and he's still kind of trying to hide his feelings somewhat. But he's being more open, right? The way he talked to Kana is very much more open. The way he gave her the acceptance. Because what happened there was Kana said to him, stay behind. And usually he'd be like, shut up, But he's actually like, look, she's looking out for me. I'll accept this. And that's a big moment of growth for Kurumada. A very big moment of growth. Very fantastic stuff. This game's incredible. This game, the dynamics, the relationships are all so incredible. That's so scary. What the hell? It's gonna close. Hurry. Buzz off, bastard. You want us to get on with you? What should we do? Wait, what if this is a thing that if we don't get on with him, we can't, like, he's gonna shut off the elevators? Would he do that? Oh no, I hate, like, I love these choices. I love these choices in these games, in this game, but I also hate them. You know what I mean? I'm worried that if we don't get on the freaking elevator, this is the thing where he's going to be like, oh, too bad. Should I? I'm worried that if we don't, we won't be able to get on. I'm worried that if we don't, we won't be able to get on at all. Yeah, I'm worried. I think we legit have to get on with them. It'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'd hate to let him walk all over me. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not sure what this game's choices when they matter and when they don't, but there is this distinct possibility that he goes like, the elevator shuts and all of a sudden something bad happens to Kitaro or Mai or Keiji. Going down on the floor feels unbearably long. Yeah, I mean, that can, it's like waiting. You know when you have an awkward situation with someone you don't talk to very much and you're just being very silent? 30 seconds could feel like 10 hours. Because next to us is the enemy we need to kill. Oh my god, his eyes are so scary. You're too nervous, Miss Sarah. Even when he's this close, I can't do anything. Was that... That is incredible. That is incredible. It's another reason why this game's narrative is so... and writing is so good. The fact that, like... The sequence with us in the elevator with Midori wasn't us fighting him. Wasn't us beating him up. Wasn't him beating us up. Wasn't him doing something so evil and dastardly, even though his whole existence is evil and dastardly. It was just an understandably tense situation where it felt like a long time them going down in the elevator. Him kind of mocking Sarah a little bit. And then they leave the elevator. I feel like in one of those situations in any other game, an elevator sequence with the person who's trying to kill you usually would be a moment where like either the elevator stops or he does something really awful to someone in the elevator. He maybe tries to kill someone. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's bad in other games. That fits other games' themes, right? And whether it be an action game or like a horror game or whatever. I played Resident Evil 9 recently had a really awesome elevator sequence, right? But this game doesn't do that. This game is like more about this game will sacrifice a traditional scary or tense encounter all the time, which could be, again, would be a home run, right? A battle with Midori inside the elevator would be a tense situation. It would be a home run, right? But they sacrifice it then and there so they can all do what they love to do in this game, which is just make you feel uneasy. And then they'll come later on and be like, hey, here's a big battle as well. So I feel like this game like legitimately makes the cake, has the cake, puts ice cream on it, eats it all together. They have the cake and eat it too, you know? I'll just take my sweet time. You see what I mean? It's so restrained. This game's restraint with its encounters with Midori have been so much, like, because here's the thing, as you said, there'll be times with Midori, and this is what makes it so special, and that's what makes scenes like that so special. There's times with Midori where he will just be like, okay, I'm going to activate your collar and you will die. And you're like, oh my god, this is one of the worst situations ever. You know? And then there'll be scenes like that where he just like tells Sarah to stop being tense, and that's almost even scarier sometimes, because you're expecting, what is he going to do? And the game knows that. The game is aware that we're feeling, what is he going to do right now? We're stuck in an elevator with Midori, what's it going to do? The game is aware of the character's limitations. The game is aware of Midori's presence. So when I say character limitations, they know that we're not just going to be in the elevator beating the living crap out of him, even though that'd be funny, right? Jumping him. They know that Midori as well is a character who strikes fear into us as a character. So their knowledge of us being afraid of our knowledge of us being afraid and being tense around Midori is used in a way that, like, when he like shows up right in Sarah's face, you can't expect what is going to happen there. And that's why him just being like, hey, you're so tense is so powerful. Because that could have easily have been like a moment where he like does something else crazy. But no, he just like talks to us right in her face and then he goes like, yeah, I'll take my time. It makes him such an unpredictable, scary character that whenever he shows up, you're kind of wondering what he's going to do. You know? Okay, we don't even want a place to go to. Everywhere else is blocked out. We have to go to this area here. Yeah, masterfully done the way they have a door. Oh my god, wait, the scratches in the door. The shutter's closed, so we can't get into the cemetery, woof. Alright, it's still closed, like we left it. It's a great artwork once again. In fact, this shutter seems to have taken damage from something big and sharp, but it doesn't look like that Maple got through though, right? Because this is Maple's like tentacle things. Maple inflicted this damage. Such strength to do this much to a bulky, sturdy shutter. Seems a whole lot stronger than Midori. But it ain't been pierced through. That's the thing, they didn't get through. Then Keiji must be safe. Try yelling? Keiji, are you okay? What if Maple notices us? Glad to see you're caught. I love that because Sarah in her moment again, it's a great moment as well. Her being like, Sarah being more like less cautious and careful, and Kana's the one who's careful this time. Not that Kana has been careful, but like Kana remembering this stuff is really great too. I'll look to see if there's anything around here. So there is a switch here. A card reader. Okay, we have a card, right? So just like that. The access we have here. All right, it opens, Sarah. I do love that Kana has been like is such a great and I'll make this clear. I don't think anyone needs to be useful, as I always said, but like Kana has like stepped up in a lot of ways, and also she's been more level-headed than a lot of us are nowadays, you know? He must be waiting up ahead. I hope Keiji's okay after all this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're here technically. Wait, yeah, the coffin hasn't opened? Mr. Policeman, where are you? What do you mean it's hot in here? What do you mean it's hot in here? Hey, Big Sis Sarah, why are the coffins? We opened the coffins! Come to think of it. Maybe after Keiji got out, he closed them off and left? I wonder if... Maybe the coffins... Oh, no, don't tell me. That's what I was thinking when they said fire, right? Because the flames. No. But then, like, all the work we did, though. They can't kill off Keiji like that. Don't be ridiculous. We opened them from the control room, I'm sure of it. It said all the coffins were opened. Oh no, and this fear and anxiety it makes so much freaking sense. Oh, it's the hourglass is, but the hourglass is empty. It's fallen to the bottom. That means the flames would have been activated regardless. So it could be a thing where he did escape, but the flames still activated, right? That doesn't matter. What's wrong, everyone? Why are you suddenly... Because they're all having the same thought. They're all having the exact same thought. It's just a trivial detail, right? Big Sis Sarah. No! I'll inspect the coffin? No. They couldn't. No, they couldn't. We opened I know we didn't see it, but we opened everything. The coffin cage was locked in. Do you hear a weird noise? I can hear a lower roaring sound from the like fire? It sounds like fire. Please come. And Sarah's trying to comment. Sarah's trying to like block the idea of this even being said. Like she doesn't even want this to be spoken. Shake the coffin? Should we open this right now with the flames going around everywhere? Hot. It's probably boiling, yeah. It feels hot. The coffin has considerably heat. Yeah, there's flames in it for sure. Look at everyone's face. No. I feel like I just heard a voice from inside. No, you did not. You did not hear a voice from inside. You did not. No way. Why isn't Keiji? No, please. Please. What's happening in the coffin now? I don't want to consider surface it. I don't want to consider surface in my mind. Answers I don't want to consider surface in my mind. The cremation system. Please. That is so brutal if that's the case. I grabbed the lid to open the coffin. Please. The heat doesn't matter. It's in your hands though. But as hard as I tried, the lid will come off. This is so crazy. I feel sick. I feel really sick. It's no use. It's getting hotter and hotter. Your hands are gonna... Oh, Sarah, no, someone get her hands away from it, please. He needs her help. He's inside. Get away, Sarah. Someone get her hands away from it, please. I need help, KG. Please get her hands away from it. They never unlocked. No. Right now, right in front of us. No. Are you serious? What the hell? There's nothing I can do. What the... There's no freaking way this happened. The sound of roaring flames torments my ears. My vision warps. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I feel like I'm gonna be sick. Do you need aid? Midori, what do you think is happening? What do you think is happening right now in the second? Midori. No, 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 no. They need this for a reason. They need this for a reason. You might still have time, you know, is what he said, by the way. I'm fine either way, personally. Sarah. Can you save him? Sarah, okay, I want to make this perfectly clear. This sounds so horrific to say. If there's flames engulfing KG right now this second, there's no way he's going to be even able to walk out of here. I know it sounds freaking morbid, but if he's in that coffin getting burnt, how would he even like be able to do anything? I feel so sick, Sarah. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Again, I hope you guys understand. I understand why Sarah's doing this, because even if there's a small chance of saving him, and again, I want to make that clear. I hope you guys understand this, because I know there's people who have been victims of burnings and have been in fires before. And I'm not trying to say that you don't have a value for life. I want to make that perfectly clear. I want to make that perfectly understandable that you deserve to have a happy life and you will have a happy life. I want to make that perfectly clear. But what I was saying is that if he's been engulfed in flames in a small box, there's no medical attention. We can't give him medical help here to help him get that happy life and survival. Unless you count Safalin, which Safalin's on the other floor. Would you bring Safalin up? That's the only possibility. If Safalin could help, then yes. So I hope no one takes it as me saying something like that, because I never would. Gee, it's all we can do. We can only sign the form. That's so brutal. There's only one option. To believe him and sign that. Did we just sign the form? I did. This is what he wanted. It's like the last signature, right? You finally signed for me, Sarah. Now hurry up and open the coffin. KG's gonna die. It's just so unfair. It's so unfair. Are you serious? Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? You see, you weren't in time. Midori, what the hell? What? The heat melted the lid, diffusing into the... Oh my freaking god. But you have to grant the wish. If you don't grant the wish, then that form's a null and void, no? That can't. Guys, I I feel like I just went into like a different zone in this universe. Does that make sense? Where like it doesn't even feel real. This does not even feel real right now. You lied that it could be opened. I didn't tell this thing, like, you know, how about just F off? How about that? How about we slam your head into the freaking box now? I swear to freaking God. All I ever said was, Sarah, was, I'll tell you a way to save him. So you're saying you tricked her? It's so manipulative. I want to make that perfectly clear. I've been tricked? I don't care about that. Right in front of me, KG is... No. Wait, you can actually see it? No, because the box is melted. Of course she'd be going mad right now. Of course she would be. Hold up. This ain't right? Ramaro? Was KG really in there? I mean, the coffin's closed and even the hourglass is on top. That's what's so strange. How could a living human be so quiet? That's true. That was my assumption as well, by the way, because I thought that, but not that he wasn't in there. My assumption was like, someone's already dead if they're not screaming. I know it sounds horrible to say, but someone's dead. I thought it was just like one of those things where he's beyond saving. But what Ramaro is saying is that there is different from what I thought. I thought he was gone at that stage if he wasn't there. You know, and that's what I was saying when, like, it's like at that point it's like, what can he do? Like, he's not gonna be able to, like, if he's not screaming, if he'd been in a box burning alive, what's he gonna be able to freaking do? He should have struggled and shouted some more, I suppose. Do you not even have the strength for that? Guys, my heart is racing. It's pounding right now. My mind is racing, I should say. Nah, that ain't it. He escaped from out of this coffin. So yeah, he didn't lie to us, but he tricked us. KG's around here then. KG's around here somewhere. I hate that guy. I hate Midori so much. Then, but the shutter was closed. He must be in here. That part I don't know about. But there was Katara and Mai who could use the fingerprint scanner. That's true. Mai could use the scanner. I'm sure something happened. He's just not here. That's all. We should look for him. This ain't the time to get down the dump, Sarah. I'm gonna trust Ranmaro just like he trusted me. Ranmaro put his trust in us. I'm gonna put my trust in Ranmaro as well. I'm gonna make sure that he feels trusted just as he made us feel trusted. I believe in KG. KG, he has to be somewhere. We need to meet up. Right? You can stand, Sarah? Look at this dude. That's what I'm saying. He put his trust in us. I want to return the favor for him as well, 110%. Again, this whole idea of this being a trick as well, by the way, is evil. It's so evil. But now Sarah signed that form. Sarah signed the form. Can I say as well, looking at Ramar's face, his soft smile like fills me with so much happiness. His face has gone from just a new person that we met before to being like a companion that, like, when I see him, it actually does make me feel more comfortable. This disgusting freak. Derogatory, by the way. Get on excited. And now we're gonna go searching around for results. We try Maple's room. We should try everywhere but Maple's room first, I think. Guys, that was such a I don't say traumatic because obviously we're playing the game and these characters are definitely going through traumatic situations. For me, it's one of those situations where, like, I felt sick. I felt like I felt so... Whoa! That's Maple, what? Stay away, Sarah, what? She doesn't seem to have noticed us. Is she sitting and resting? She ain't moving. Did they do something to Maple? She's completely stopped. Did she run out of battery? Meow? In other words, she's... What? Someone killed her? Oh, she went on a rampage and exhausted her energy. So she died from exhaustion. She lost her charge. Never got to give her back the ID card. Maple. Is this our fault too? See, and here's the thing. This is why I think these characters are feeling so many different things. This one line here. should, like, in most cases, everyone's going to be like, well, why should we feel bad for this character who tried to kill us? It's like, this character was also, like, created for a purpose that they should never have been created for. Again, just like in the same way, I feel like, and I want to make that clear with Ranger too, Ranger did horrible stuff to us. But he was created and became a victim himself as well. And I feel the same way about Maple. You know what I mean? And I think what's so important is that the characters like Sarah can feel this way about someone like Maple. And it shows that this whole place hasn't warped these characters to beyond the feeling of caring. It's normal to be afraid of Maple and Ranger. But it's also, I think, very, very appropriate to say that the both of them were also victims of this freaking bullcrap that was created here. Both of them were. Of Gashu. Ranger, as I said, Ranger did horrible stuff that made us feel so terrible. But also at the same time, too, he was built that way. He was built to be sadistic. He never got a chance to be anything else. I'm so proud of our characters for acknowledging this. And it makes following these characters so much easier. It really does. Let's try the locker. Okay, then it's probably going to be either here or... Oh, hey. Oh my god! It's like, it is like seeing an old friend or something. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you too. Oh my god. No. Okay, here's the thing, right? I want to say where's Katara and where's KG. I really want to say this, right? But this line is so important. I'm glad you're okay, Rita guy. It's so important. To acknowledge that also we were worried about her as well. Thanks. Where's Musagrillo? Why aren't you together? Relax, since he's injured, I'm having him hide. Really, Wolf, I'm so glad, meow. Sorry we couldn't have come quicker. But tell me, how's Kurumada? Kurumada's safe too. He's charging up in the charging room. You okay, Mai? I see, that's great. Yeah, what was that? That was an interesting reaction, right? I found out something huge. A way we can beat Midori with the dummy still alive. Wait, what? Mai, how'd you find this out? What? Is that true? No way. That's amazing, Mai. You see, we need the ID card for it? What's going on here? What is happening here? Her reaction to Kurumada being alive and then saying that she wants the ID card. Like, what is happening here? And the way the music changed to like a heartbeat there for a second. I'm super, super worried about what this means. Like, I don't know what they're trying to imply here. Are they just trying to scare us though as well? I don't know. I might tell her I have it because it's not saying we're giving it to her yet. But like, it worries me that the game has made it into like a whole like everything goes dark. What's happening here type of thing. I have it, of course, but I'll go hand it over, pretty please. I'll go give it to Kataro. Won't you let us meet him? You can't. He's concentrated. What? I don't know what Kataro's thinking, but it's fine, right? He's meant to give this back to Maple anyhow. I guess so. Understood. Handed my idea. What is happening? Thank you, Sarah. Mwah, mwah. Oh, you gotta kiss her, Mai. That's adorable. That brightens your day, right? Anyway, like, especially like, you know, the type of kiss that's like a, you know, the European, like, mwah, mwah on the side. That's adorable. Please look after Katara for us. What is he's concentrating? Why do you need an ID card for this? We can't believe her, right? I don't know. The game made it seem like something bad could happen here, but I wonder if they're just trying to scare us. The game loves doing that. Maybe we should try following her? Is it through here? I think this is the next floor, right? If there's not an next floor, this is the last floor, right? So, are we going to... Jesus Christ, she went on a rampage, didn't she? Again, it's programming, right? It's programming. So where did they go? Oh, should we activate the... Oh, sorry. Should we activate this stuff as well, by the way? Sorry, just to see this. Did this change anything? Should we see if this changes it? Because again, we haven't been trying this down here yet. Because I don't think we had the lantern, right? No, okay. So where did he go then? Because we've been in every room. We've been in every single room. It's broke. Oh, it won't turn on in here? That's super weird, isn't it? Where? I feel like I've been everywhere. I'm always headed this way, right? I don't see her anywhere. Something's strange. Is there any way I can inspect this place more with this thing? Something's showing up. Is this a picture of a school? This picture feels somehow familiar. So a picture of a school. Is there anything we have in our inventory? No, I didn't mean to do that. What's this again? That's this stuff on the doll. I wonder what this could be. Should we turn off the light and see if we can click on it? No, we can't. Something to do with a school? Oh, is there a painting of that? No. There is! Yes. There seems to be pictures of school in the locker room too. Do I have to check? What do we do? Piggyback? Can we reach by piggybacking? Piggybacking? A cage over here might be possible, but... I'll put my hands on the wall and get on my shoulders. Let's give it a try. Rarmer's hands are on the wall. Squat down for me and I'll get on. Heavy. What? I mean, light also. Because here's the thing, I want to make this clear, right? The wrong words for anyone, right? But a 17-year-old, like, again, not even 17-year-old, like, she's like any like age, like if you put like a kid on your shoulder, it's gonna be heavier, right? If you had like, you know, when you have like a baby cousin, you put them on your shoulder, that's heavy, right? This is a girl around this, probably around the same age as him, right? Like, regardless of who it is, it's gonna be a weight of a full person on your shoulders, right? But obviously, it's the words you have to use here, but it's kind of cute. He's like, no, light, you know? Calm down, don't get agitated. No. Okay, look, just, again, I don't think Ron Mara, of all people, is going to actually call you heavy in an insulting way. I think what happened was a person, this 17-year-old gal, stood on his shoulders, and Ron Morrow is like a little light lad himself. Like, we're not going to, you know, he chose the wrong words, you know? He'll know in future. He chose the wrong words. Painting opened. Oh, just like that. Press the switch? Yeah. Press the switch. Nothing's changed. Well, we have to go back to the locker room, right? It's for a different room. I'm gonna save. I feel very worried about like everything that's happening here. It feels like there's like a progression here. Whoa. Just like the one above, a secret passage? Someone's coming out from there. What? Why are you everywhere? How'd you get there? What were you doing in there? Who can say? What kind of room is in there? You just have to find out for yourself. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, now should we go in? Let's go in. What the hell? It's like a freaking operating table? What the hell is this? A bed illuminated by lights. It's like an operating table. The lamp gives off a glaring light. I shouldn't look directly into it. And there's like a switch up here as well. There's some kind of switch. Okay, sure. Oh. Oh. Is this in our charging room? I genuinely feel more comfortable ending the video here and then coming back in the next part. To figure out everything that's going on here as well. Like, this whole thing here kind of leads me to feel in a way that's kind of like, okay, things are going to get crazier, right? Things are definitely... I know it's like, it goes without saying with your turn to die, but I still feel like it's one of those things where like, yeah, I'm kind of good with saving here and then coming back in the next part as well. This was a insane episode. Absolutely insane. And I think that, like, you know, a lot of things happen like all the time when it comes to like the relationships and the characters, and, you know, the way the characters are kind of like their dynamics are written within each other as well. And I feel like that's like obviously like very intentional. And in this sense, obviously it's like another very like intentional thing that happens here with the relationship between Ron Morrow and Sarah, which I think is a very sweet relationship, but also as well, they played upon the darker parts of like the you know, the mindset you would have in this place. They played upon the idea of like what you know, this place can make you feel. You know, the warped ideas you might have in your head of like, oh, I have to do this, or like this is like something I am. How do I say it? Like this is something that like is you wouldn't think of the real world, but you think of in this world, right? And what happened here with Ron Morrow's story that I actually think is like really, really good is that Ron Morrow is a character who, when they became a dummy and they saw their death and all this stuff too, they didn't really have this like, you know, understanding of who they were. Then they realized they were a dummy. And then when they realized they were a dummy, there was just like this feeling of kind of like this shock. And then they said themselves, they kind of didn't value their life as much as they did before. It's like, okay, I don't really care about, you know, living or dying. I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm kind of going to, you know, whatever happens, I might die here, right? Even to the point that he was willing to, like, you know, sacrifice a lot to help us and Sarah and everyone in between. There's a moment there, obviously, in the last episode where he then decided, you know, I want to protect Sarah, I want to protect myself, and I want to live happily ever after, knowing that me and Sarah survived. Because Sarah gave him a new way of looking at life. We talked about how he looked at Kurumada, and Kurumada was kind of his representation of mortality for him, where he didn't want to end up like this. And he looked at Sarah as like this new beginning of happiness, this person that can make me feel kind of more alive. He, in this episode, ran towards Midori, but ended up finding Kurumada. And the thought that went through his head was, if I touch Kurumada right now, Kurumada will die. And I'll live. And again, Your Turn to Die does the most realistic portrayal of people's emotions all the time. And we went from thinking, you know, we went from like obviously the very much real heartache of the moment before, of him kind of saying to himself like, oh my god, I'm the worst. But that doesn't change the fact that again, he saw another opportunity of being like, I could live here. I could be alive if I just give this to Kurumada. This game doesn't shy away from very realistic feelings, you know? Now, as always, like, it's one of those things where I think that, like, this game always faces you, as I said, with very realistic emotions, very dark emotions. It's not trying to paint everyone as being perfect all the time or having perfect feelings all the time. Because the absolute truth of this is that he looked at someone else, all these people, and said, maybe I could kill them and we could survive. I could kill Kurumada and I could survive. Even though it wouldn't be his fault if Kurumada died right there, right? That's the game that they created, and this bullcrap game they created for them. But there is a situation here where he looked at Kurumada and said, I could sacrifice him. And again, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect feeling to have. But in that situation, when you know you're about to die and the collar's beeping red, and you now have this new reason to live and a new lease on life, and you now want to live, and you're faced with your mortality, that thought that went through his head, while we can judge him and say like, oh, would I think that way? Would I think that way? I wouldn't want to be in that position where I'm about to die and I look at someone who's like already said they would sacrifice themselves for everybody in Kurumada, and your thought process is, well, if I just give it to Kurumada, then I can live, and Kurumada won't mind, right? And all these things in between. Because I think sometimes we're too prone to the idea of like, not us. I'm not saying us or everybody. I'm saying there is like a thing with like media and stories where if you're not a perfect character, you will have video essays and tweets and all this stuff talking about how you were awful, right? And we're so prone to just accepting the idea of like, which I love this too, by the way, the very heroic, honorable character. We love that too, right? We love that type of character because that sometimes is lovely to have as well. It's nice to have. But that's not what this game is. The heroic character in this moment would be like, you know what? I'll find a way. Like before anything else, before the trauma, before anything else, I'll find a way. You know what I mean? But instead, we have to face the fact, and that's why I didn't want to say anything between him and Kurumada, is because not because I wanted Kurumada to be sacrificed or I wanted Ranmaru to die or whatever. I didn't say anything because I wanted them to come to their own conclusion together. This moment of like Kurumada feeling like I want to sacrifice myself, and Ranmaru feeling like I want to live by sacrificing Kurumada. They played through these thoughts in their mind, and of course Hinoko came in and kind of like stopped it and like was able to like, you know, put a new thought in Ranmaru's head. But I wanted those thoughts to play out for themselves, and I'm glad I did because I feel like they came to like a better conclusion in the end. But again, you can't change the fact that like this is like a very brutal, realistic, honestly unsettling sometimes portrayal of characters. It really is. And honestly, I love Ranmaru. I really do love him, and I think his character is portrayed in such a fantastic way. From the realization of the dummy stuff, to the helping of Sarah, to the then wanting to live forever, just him and Sarah surviving, to then the moment where he almost, like, as he said, the stuff with Kurumada, and then the moment afterwards when we played the shock game, which again, I definitely made a mistake on for sure. That moment made him realize, in our timeline anyway, that these people were willing to take a bullet for him. And I think that feeling of knowing that everyone else was willing to just fight so hard for him to live probably, in my view, would make you feel like, okay, then I should fight to live as well and fight for them to live also. Not that he didn't do stuff for them before. I want to make that clear. He's been the biggest supporter of like, let's all work together. But everyone's gonna have their doubts. Everyone's gonna have that feeling of like, oh my god, like what if I die? What if I do this? What if this happens? I have to do something. But he realized in that moment when he saw everyone taking those electroshocks for him, from a little kid like Gin to like, you know, Kurumada, who was already damaged and destroyed. He realized in that moment that even these people that I only just met are willing to do so much just for my safety. And that thank you that he gave to Reiko is the most important thank you he'll ever give in his life. Because I believe, not fully, because he's going to still have like his doubts, he's going to still have his emotions, all those things too, but I truly do believe that he went from facing his mortality to believing in the idea that his mortality could, or his death could be prevented, and everyone's death can be prevented, because look at the power of what they did together. Everyone's willing to take this much damage for me. And I think it's a really powerful thing to understand, to witness. And that thank you meant the absolute world to me, it really did. Seeing the smile on his face meant the world to me as well. Because everyone's going to have their doubts, right? Everyone's going to have a moment that they like, that they're not going to be proud of, they look back on, right? Now is a perfect example. So we talked about now before she died. She was like, let's kill everybody. Not because she's a bad person, but because she was faced with her mortality right in front of her face. And I know I'm a broken record, but I'll never accept, you know, the idea of someone being like, wow, now you suck. Why would you say that? Wow, you want to kill everyone, Ranmaru? You suck. You can judge people in a moment. That's your prerogative. But for me personally, it's just like, man, like, isn't it much, like, again, as I said last time, it's much more interesting to judge it by like what the game is doing to them, right? And the very realistic emotions that they're having there as well. But the Ranmaru story there, and then also then afterwards him like having a little bit, what appears to be a little bit of a crush on Sarah, is very sweet. It's very, very sweet. And Anzu picking up on that is also very sweet. It's very funny as well. But again, I think that's like a really, like, as I said, if you're talking about, that's the love story they're going for in this whole story, or at least like the longing story that they have here as well. Him being like, you know, this gal literally gives me a reason to live. She's not just maybe just her, but the idea that like, the idea of like being around her has given him a purpose and given him a reason like to kind of like, you know, keep going. That to me is like a really powerful idea. And I'm more than like pleased with that idea. I'm more than like happy that that's what his perspective is now, you know? And I think it's actually like really, really super powerful. And great. It's super powerful, super great. It's something that I am like very much happy to see. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe it's not a thing where he fancies her or whatever. And if he doesn't, that's fine too. But it's very clear that at the very minimum, he cares about her to the point that like she is like, you know, giving him a new like feeling, a new reason to be, a new like love for his life. At the very maximum, he's like, man, this is the most amazing woman I've ever seen, and I want to kiss her and marry her. You know what I mean? That's like the maximum. But either it could be true, you know? Either could be true, and both are beautiful, in my opinion, as well. Yeah, really great stuff from Ron Mara. What a fantastic character. What a great character to follow. The doubts he had in mind up to the point where he said thank you to every character here as well. And then later on, helping Sarah in that moment with Keiji, because we can talk about that moment as well. We already talked about how like amazing the elevator moment was when we went to the elevator, and like the game showed so much restraint to just make us feel so much anxiety when it came to the stuff with Midori. But it wasn't just that moment of anxiety with Midori, it was also the moment with the coffin where he got Sarah to sign that form. He got her to sign the form through manipulation. He can pretend. Here's the thing. It's one of those things where like, a lot of like liars and manipulators believe that, you know, well, if I didn't directly lie to you, then that's not a lie, right? I'm not being deceitful. But there is a understanding in human life. I know like it's one of those things where it's majority human, but like in human life, we understand that like, for example, if someone runs up to you right now and says, can you let me hide in your car? The police are chasing me, right? And you say, and the person goes, do you have $50? And then that person goes, and he said, if you give me $50, I will give you a place to hide. I'll give you a place to hide. And then the person goes, okay, sure, you know? And then they hand the $50 to this person, right? And then they go, okay, I'd say go up the road there and hide behind a bin. And they go, but I want to hide in your car. It's like, there's an understanding with us humans that like, you meant the car. You understood that giving the $50 meant that they were giving you $50 for the car. And just because you didn't technically lie doesn't mean you're not being deceitful, right? In this sense, it's like one of those things where like, it was totally implied that it was, and again, he's not wrong in saying that he said, I give you a way to save him, right? And he's probably still going to do that. But the implication was that he is in this coffin. And Midori knew this. Midori knew that the implication was he's in this coffin. I need to open this coffin to save him. That is factual, right? But again, he's right in saying he didn't lie, but that doesn't mean it's not deceitful as heck. The moment where the coffin's engulfed in flames, like my whole thing was like, not that I thought he wasn't in there, because I think this game is capable of a lot of stuff. You know, it is. My thought process was more the idea that like, okay, if we're not hearing him screaming, if he's already been in this enclosed space with fire pouring in, there's no medical attention really to save him when he comes out of here, because that's one thing you need to have, like what obviously with Burns as well, is you need to have someone like immediate medical attention, because like, you know, infection is such a big thing as well, of course. He's not going to be able to be saved regardless. He's just not. It's not because, I want to be clear, as I said, it's not because burn victims can't be saved. They can be and have been saved and will be saved, right? And they deserve their own place in life and all this stuff too, and they live their own life, right? But it's more of a case of just like, without medical attention, you have a situation where like, you know, he would have died like a few hours later, if not like a few minutes later. But obviously Ron Mara realized that he wasn't screaming, that there would have been that he wasn't actually in there, that he's actually hidden somewhere else. And again, it's one of those situations where Ron Mara, I feel like what was so great about the whole scene was that Ron Mara just gained trust back in everybody and gained a new meaning of the camaraderie he has for everyone around him as well. So him putting that trust in us as well beforehand with the electricity collar thing, I just wanted to return the favor so badly, because when he was like, you know, come on, you have to believe in this, I was like, yes, I'll trust Ron Mara with this. And that's why I think Sarah and Ron Mara's relationship is so good, is like how they've developed this relationship just so quickly after all the stuff that's happened. Ron Mara wasn't even a thought because we didn't even know who he was last chapter. And now this chapter, he's one of my favorite characters, and I couldn't do without the Sarah and Ron Mara dynamic anymore. Like, I never thought that after what, because you know what I had thought was going to happen? And it would have been grand. I thought we were going to have like 5 or so people left in this last chapter. It was going to be a very like cozy, like intimate kind of final run to the end of the game. and not cozy and intimate, and kind of like a oh nice, and kind of like it's gonna be the few people here, and it was going to become even more tragic because there was less people here. No, they added more people to the game. They just injected new life into the game. They added Romara to the game, who has a dynamic with Sarah that is so perfect that I can't even be without anymore. I love their dynamic. I love the dynamic of two people that both have, and that both have a, I wouldn't say trust. I don't think trust issues, but they both have their own, and not shortcomings either. They both have moments together where they both doubt moving forward. Whether it be Sarah in the library or Ron Morrow in the classroom, they both have those doubts at that point. And both times in those moments there as well, obviously they were able to come out of it on the other end of it as well. But I really feel like it's one of those situations where they both can understand the idea of like wanting to give up, feeling like this is hopeless. And I think everyone can understand this too, right? But I just think that Ron Moore and Sarah have been together for so much of these interactions, that they've been tied to each other for so much into their interactions, that you really feel like the dynamic is like a mixture of like this very like instant sweetness between them, which like you can tell that they kind of like have a good camaraderie. But then also as well, I feel like they can understand each other on a level as well that's really, really cool too. They obviously, Ron Mara cares a lot about Sarah, and obviously Sarah as well cares about Ron Mara as well. I think that they have just like a really good natural dynamic as well, because whenever they're interacting with each other, it never feels like out of place. It feels like they've known each other for a while as well. It's really, really well done. That makes you care about that dynamic so much so as well. And I don't mean to make it say like, yeah, other characters can't understand what they're feeling. Of course, Kana can understand exactly what Sarah's feeling, right? And they have a great dynamic too. But I'm just talking about the new dynamics. I think the best new dynamic out of everyone is Sarah and Ranmaru. I love the Kana and Kurumada angle, because what happens there is Kurumada has a kind of a moment where he's kind of realizes, okay, this person cares about me and I should like, return the favor as well. The Mai Kitaro dynamic of like, you stabbed me but I still accept you, and shows the acceptance that we can have, and the forgetting like, and how do I say, the acceptance of each other, right? That's the representation of all of us like kind of working together, was Kitara and Mai as well is a great dynamic also. There's like really great dynamics here, but I just love the Ranmaru Sarah relationship like the most. It's so sweet to me. It really is. Because I really feel like they like, became fast companions. You know what I mean? And it's really, really great to see it. It really is. Because if you told me that they were just like characters in, like, if I saw them like interacting with each other and then someone said, oh yeah, they've known each other for a while, I would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And that's a really cool thing about them as well. Yeah, and now we have this thing with Mai, who she's given, we have to give her the ID card for some reason. She said Katara was concentrating, but she said Katara was safe. We found this whole secret room as well. I don't know what it is whatsoever. So that's the whole thing we're looking towards now, what's going to happen in the future of this game. We also have this thing with like the two other things. The mini game was fantastic, even though it was like, obviously I messed it up the first time, but it's still very fun. And like anything in your turn to die, it's fun, but obviously traumatizing at the same time too. We have as well, just to like put an end to like everything here as well, not an end to everything, but like the moment in the coffin is a brutal moment. Because again, it shows like Midori's like, want to make us feel bad and wants us to make us feel like, everything's hopeless. And that moment once again shows that like this game is so realistic with emotions, because even in like the moment, we've had so many reaffirming moments where characters like, we got to move forward, we can do this, we're so, we're much stronger, but nobody's impervious, especially to someone getting burnt. Jesus Christ, someone getting burnt alive. I think in that moment, if that turned out to be actually Keiji in the box, it doesn't matter about how anyone feels about Keiji. If you like Keiji or don't like Keiji, it doesn't matter about that whatsoever. I think that moment would have been one of the most hopeless and horrible moments in any of these characters' lives, especially Sarah, who like, I believe was like, to me, I would say out of everyone knows Keiji the best. And also Keiji as well has been someone who's very supportive of Sarah also. But also it's the working hard aspect. It's the fact that they're working so hard to save him. And if it didn't work out in the end, it would have been even more devastating. And of course, seeing the burning corpse would have been obviously horrible as well. But yeah, it was a hopeless moment that actually gave another hopeless moment of like having to sign that signature. Sarah's finally signed the signature. We don't know what that means now. We don't know what's going to happen now, but it just means, I guess, as well that she is like, tied to this game in more ways than we thought. And now she's going to be like legally maybe tied to this game rather than just like someone wished her in here. So I wonder if that's going to change something, if that's going to be a different dynamic. I don't know. But this was another like really shocking episode with some great moments too, and some great reaffirming moments like with the Ron Mara stuff. But again, it's your turn to die, so it's mixed in with like a lot of horror, anxiety, and a lot of traumatic moments too. Yeah. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched this video. Thank you so much for always supporting the series. It's been absolutely incredible. And if you want to see these videos earlier, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for the lowest tier on YouTube members and Patreon. That's the €1 tier. And that's whatever's in your currency as well. You can check that out and you get every single Your Turn to Die video early. If you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that is €10. And if you want to hear your name be read out at the end of every single video, that is the €15 tier. And that's the highest tier that my YouTube member and Patreon will go as well. YouTube members and Patreon will go as well. I want to say thank you to the patrons first of the highest tier, that being Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Jana the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuled, Anusta, Yassassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Neo Showerite, Leo200, Mount Gunday, Axler21, and the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco and Lusanagi. See you guys very soon. Bye-bye.